Psychology of attraction. If she touches this spot, she's secretly craving you. Psychology tricks. Attraction doesn't announce itself loudly. It whispers, and only those who are present hear it. When a woman's body briefly drifts into yours, just a soft brush, barely a moment, it's rarely accidental. That kind of contact often carries intention. It's subtle, almost invisible, yet deeply revealing. Many men overlook it simply because they expect attraction to be obvious. It almost never is. Before words ever enter the picture, her body has already decided. There are small, unconscious movements that show she feels drawn to you long before she admits it, even to herself. These signals are quiet, but they're consistent, and once you know how to notice them, they're impossible to ignore. I'm going to break down 9 unmistakable physical cues that reveal interest without a single sentence being spoken. The last one, number 7, is especially telling. Men who are tuned in recognize it instantly, and once you do, second-guessing disappears. No more replaying moments in your mind, wondering if you imagined it. At the beginning of attraction, there's often nothing overt. No touching hands, no confessions, no romance yet. Just tension, a charged stillness between two people who feel something forming, but haven't named it. You may notice her hands subtly repositioning near you. Her gaze might drift away, then return, lingering just a fraction longer than normal. She adjusts her hair or posture in a way that seems casual, yet somehow aligns perfectly with your attention. These moments feel small, but they're loaded with meaning. Most men dismiss these signs as coincidence. They tell themselves it's wishful thinking. In reality, attraction often lives in the body first. Women don't always explain desire with words. They experience it physically, instinctively, and only later rationalize it. This happens because emotional awareness moves faster than conscious thought. The instinctive parts of the brain respond before logic steps in. That's why real attraction feels quiet, restrained, and powerful all at once. A man who misses these cues keeps wondering why connections fade before they begin. A man who recognizes them moves differently. He stays grounded. He doesn't rush or force. His calm confidence creates safety, and that safety allows attraction to grow naturally. So let's step into it. 9 touches, 9 signals. 9 silent invitations she's already sending if you know where to look. 1. Small adjustments to her clothes. When a woman starts making small adjustments to her clothes while she's around you, pay attention. These moments are rarely random, and they often reveal more than words ever could. This is where understanding psychology tricks becomes useful, not to manipulate, not to control, but to recognize what is already happening naturally. She might lightly tug at her sleeves. She may trace the edge of her neckline. She smooths the fabric near her waist. She straightens the hem of her skirt, or she gently guides a slipping strap back into place. None of this is about fixing a real problem. Nothing is actually wrong. Instead, her awareness is shifting inward and outward at the same time. This is female psychology at work. Her body is responding before her mind fully catches up. When attraction is present, even confident women become more conscious of how they present themselves. Not because they doubt their appearance, but because attraction sharpens perception. It heightens sensitivity. It brings a soft, nervous energy that quietly says, "Notice me," without ever needing to say it out loud. Imagine the two of you standing there, having a normal conversation. Nothing dramatic, nothing intense. Yet her hands keep returning to her clothes, not once, not twice, repeatedly. You might think it's just a habit or simple restlessness. Don't dismiss it too quickly. Attraction often hides in plain sight. The body speaks in adjustments, long before the mouth speaks in confessions. This kind of physical preparation is not about vanity. It's about readiness. Her subconscious is saying, be seen, be present, be felt. And this is where many men miss the moment. Don't rush, don't stare, don't point it out. Your calm, steady presence matters here. When you stay relaxed and grounded, you create a space where she feels safe expressing interest. No pressure, no fear, no awkward exposure. Many men think attraction is pulled by bold moves. That's not always true. Often it's drawn in by quiet strength, strength that doesn't need to prove anything, strength that allows things to unfold naturally. This understanding sits at the heart of how to fall in love without forcing it, without games, without pretending. I once watched a man in his mid-40s experience this shift. Nothing about his appearance changed, nothing about his status changed, only his awareness did. He began noticing these subtle signals, these small clothing adjustments, these quiet moments of self-attention, and instead of reacting, he stayed present. He listened more, he slowed down. The result wasn't instant romance, it was connection, deeper conversations, longer eye contact, a sense of ease that women responded to naturally. That's the lesson. Psychology tricks are not about controlling outcomes. They're about understanding human behavior so you don't sabotage what's already working. When you recognize these movements as signs of internal excitement, you stop overthinking. You start trusting the moment. Your voice steadies. Your posture relaxes. Your attention sharpens. She feels it, even if she can't explain why. Be patient. Be observant. Be emotionally available. Female psychology responds to presence far more than performance. When a woman adjusts her clothing around you, she's aligning herself with the moment. She's tuning into the connection. She's quietly testing whether you're tuned in too. Don't interrupt it. Don't retreat into doubt. Don't assume it guarantees anything. Attraction is not a contract, it's a conversation. One spoken through posture, movement, and energy. When you learn to read these cues with respect, you stop chasing validation. You become someone capable of connection. That is far more compelling. This is how attraction matures, especially for men who value depth over drama. Less chasing signals, more understanding them. Less trying to win, more truly seeing. And that is where real intimacy begins. Quietly, naturally, with awareness, emotional steadiness, and mutual curiosity. This is one of the most overlooked truths in psychology tricks, female psychology, and how to fall in love with confidence and wisdom. 2. Touching her neck or collarbone. When a woman touches her neck or collarbone while she's around you, don't brush it off. Don't explain it away as coincidence. This is one of the most revealing signals in the psychology of attraction, and it often speaks louder than flirting ever could. The neck and collarbone are naturally sensitive areas. They are exposed. They are close to the pulse. When she runs her fingers along that line, adjusts a necklace, traces the hollow near her collarbone, or lets her hand rest there just a moment longer than necessary, it is rarely random. That movement comes from awareness, from emotion, from attention turning inward. Be observant. That is your first discipline as a high-value man. This gesture carries a quiet mix of trust and attraction. Specialists often describe it as a display gesture, but don't let the technical term fool you. This is not about performance. It is about comfort. It is about safety. When her hand moves to that area, her softer side is stepping forward, not because she feels pressured, but because she feels at ease. She feels seen without being judged. That matters. Women don't reveal vulnerable body language unless their nervous system feels calm. You must understand that. Attraction does not grow in tension alone. It grows where calm confidence exists. That is how you attract women without forcing anything. Many men miss this sign completely. They are too busy talking, too busy impressing, too busy proving themselves. Don't do that. Be still. Be present. When you notice her touch her neck or collarbone, the real test begins. The test is not whether you react. The test is whether you can remain grounded. Masculine energy is not loud. It is steady. It does not rush to interpret. It observes first. It allows the moment to unfold. That is what separates men who chase attention from men who naturally receive it. Think about why the neck matters. It is one of the most delicate areas of the body. We protect it instinctively. We cover it when we feel uncertain. We expose it only when we feel safe. So when she opens that space unconsciously, she is signaling comfort. She is saying, without words, I am relaxed here. That message is subtle, but it is powerful. This is not about immediate desire. It is about emotional permission. And emotional permission is where attraction begins to deepen. You must also understand the timing. This gesture often appears during conversation, during pauses, during moments when eye contact lingers just a second longer. She may touch her neck while listening to you speak, or while laughing softly, or when the conversation turns slightly personal. That context matters. Psychology of attraction is never about one signal alone. It is about patterns, repetition, consistency. When this gesture shows up more than once, your awareness should sharpen, not your ego. Awareness, not assumption. Don't mistake this for an invitation to escalate quickly. That is where many men lose ground. They misread comfort as urgency. Don't do that. Be patient. Attraction respects patience. When you stay calm and unhurried, you amplify the effect of her interest. You allow her to remain in that open state. You give her room to lean in emotionally. That is how a high-value man moves. He doesn't push the moment. He holds it. There is also something deeper happening here. When a woman touches her neck or collarbone, she is often self-soothing. It's a way the body regulates emotion. Excitement creates energy. The body looks for places to release it gently. That movement is her nervous system balancing curiosity and comfort. This is female psychology expressing itself quietly. When you understand that, you stop taking things personally. You stop trying to control outcomes. You become more relaxed, and that relaxation is felt immediately. I once watched a man in his late 40s learn this lesson the hard way and then master it. He was intelligent, well-spoken, successful, but he constantly misread moments like this. Every time a woman showed subtle interest, he rushed forward with words, jokes, explanations. He thought attraction needed momentum. It didn't. When he finally learned to slow down, everything changed. He noticed when women touched their necks while talking to him. He noticed when they played with a chain or brushed the skin near their collarbone. And instead of reacting, he stayed grounded. He listened. He smiled calmly. The conversations grew warmer. The eye contact grew steadier. Attraction deepened without effort. That is the power of restraint. Don't underestimate how much your energy influences her behavior. Masculine energy sets the emotional temperature of the interaction. If you are calm, she relaxes. If you are steady, she feels safe. If you are present, she opens. That openness shows up in gestures like touching her neck. That is why this sign matters so much. It is a mirror. It reflects how she feels around you. And mirrors don't lie. Be clear about this. Touching her neck is not about seduction. It is about trust. Seduction comes later. Trust comes first. Without trust, attraction remains shallow. With trust, attraction gains depth. That depth is what creates meaningful connection. Not surface-level excitement, not fleeting attention. Real connection. The kind that lasts beyond the first impression. You must also watch how you respond internally. If you feel anxious, check yourself. If you feel the urge to perform, pause. This is not the moment to impress. This is the moment to remain centered. Don't change your tone suddenly. Don't lean in aggressively. Don't interrupt the flow. Let the moment breathe. Attraction grows in silence just as much as it grows in conversation. Over time, when you learn to read signals like this, your confidence changes. You stop guessing. You stop chasing validation. You move differently. Women feel that difference. They may not be able to explain it, but they respond to it. This is how men naturally attract women as they mature, not by learning lines, but by learning awareness. Awareness is the foundation of a high-value man. Remember this, attraction is not created through pressure. It is revealed through comfort. When she touches her neck or collarbone, she is revealing something. Not loudly, not dramatically, quietly. Respect that quiet. Hold it with calm presence. That is how masculine energy communicates without words. This understanding shifts your entire perspective on dating and connection. You stop asking, is she interested? And start asking, am I present? Because presence is what allows attraction to show itself. And once you understand that, interactions stop feeling confusing. They start feeling natural, grounded, real. Be observant, be patient, be steady. Don't rush the moment. Don't overthink the signal. Trust your awareness. That is how you move through the psychology of attraction with confidence. That is how you attract women without force. That is how a high-value man leads with masculine energy, quietly, consistently, and effectively. 3. Lip movements and mouth awareness. Here is a truth that experienced men eventually learn, a truth rooted deeply in psychology, biology, and Old Stoic wisdom. Attraction rarely announces itself loudly. It reveals itself quietly, long before words are spoken. One of the clearest signals appears when a woman becomes aware of her mouth and lips. When she gently bites her lip, slowly applies lip balm, presses her lips together with intention, or lets her fingers rest near her mouth while her eyes drift toward you, her mind is already preparing for closeness. Not fantasy, preparation. The body moves first, the mind follows later. Across cultures and across centuries, lips have always symbolized intimacy, trust, and vulnerability. This is not coincidence. The body never lies, even when words hesitate. This moment is not a cue to rush, not a cue to impress, not a cue to perform. It is a signal to steady yourself. Slow your breathing, relax your shoulders, hold calm, unforced eye contact, because presence speaks louder than clever lines ever could. In fact, the more you try to do, the more you dilute the moment. As Marcus Aurelius once reminded us, the best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury. In modern life, that means not reacting impulsively. It means responding with composure. Composure is magnetic, especially in a world addicted to speed, noise, and constant validation. Most men talk too much. They explain too much. They rush to fill silence. They chase confirmation instead of grounding themselves. But silence, when held calmly, carries authority. Think back on your own life, the moments that stayed with you, the women who leaned in without touching, the pauses that felt heavier than words. You have seen this signal before. You simply didn't have language for it yet. With age comes pattern recognition. Not fear, not bitterness, clarity. Clarity allows you to move with purpose and restraint. This is where Stoicism win shows itself in real life, not as theory, not as quotes on a wall, but as behavior under pressure. As Seneca said, "He who is brave is free." And freedom here means freedom from anxiety, freedom from forcing outcomes, freedom from needing immediate validation. When you are free internally, attraction grows externally. Modern life tries to rush everything. Dating apps compress human connection into seconds. Messages replace moments. Dopamine replaces depth. But awareness gives you an advantage. When you notice her lips becoming a focal point of her own attention, you do less, not more. You stay grounded. You stay relaxed. You let your breathing slow. Your stillness communicates safety and certainty at the same time. That combination is rare, and rarity attracts. This is iron mind discipline in action. You are not decoding her. You are managing yourself. You are not trying to win a reaction. You are allowing a moment to unfold. Control does not come from dominance. Control comes from restraint. Patience sharpens desire. Urgency kills it. Mystery feeds it. Friedrich Nietzsche once said, "He who has a why to live can bear almost any how." A man who knows his direction does not chase moments. He builds a life. Women sense that stability instantly, especially men between 35 and 70. Men who have lived, men who have lost and learned, men who no longer need to prove anything. In practical terms, this means slowing conversations, letting silence breathe, holding eye contact just 1 second longer, smiling slowly, not eagerly, moving without rush. Because the man who is unhurried signals abundance. The man who is calm signals strength. This is old Stoic wisdom applied to modern relationships. Most modern advice teaches tricks, scripts, and shortcuts. Stoicism win teaches mastery of self first, and mastery of self changes everything. How you stand, how you listen, how you wait. Awareness without reaction is control. Control creates calm confidence. Calm confidence attracts without effort. Remember this, attraction is not seized, it is invited. Invited attraction lasts longer, feels deeper, respects you more. This is iron mind living. You observe, you ground yourself, you allow, You trust your experience. You honor your self-respect. You move through life with quiet certainty, and that certainty becomes the signal others respond to. Master your inner state. Everything else follows. 4. Leg and body movement. When you pay attention to leg and body movement, you begin to read a quiet language most men were never taught. And once you see it, everything changes. When a woman crosses and uncrosses her legs, shifts her weight, rubs her thigh, adjusts how she's sitting, or lightly taps her knee, this is not random motion. This is emotional energy looking for a release. This is feeling trying to breathe. A woman who feels nothing stays still. She settles. She locks into place. But a woman who feels drawn to you struggles to remain motionless. Her body reacts before her words ever do. If these movements happen while she keeps eye contact, don't dismiss it. Don't overthink it. Don't talk yourself out of what you're seeing. That is your signal. You are no longer just another person nearby. You are the source of stimulation. You are the point of focus. Her body is responding to you, not the room, not the situation, but you. This is where female psychology stops being theory and starts becoming something you can feel in real time. Her legs and posture are responding to curiosity, tension, and anticipation all at once. These movements may be small, almost polite, but subtlety is exactly where attraction hides. Men who learn to notice this gain a powerful edge, not through pressure, not through manipulation, but through awareness. Psychology tricks are not about control. They are about perception, and perception sharpens presence. Presence is what creates connection. Be calm, be observant, be grounded. When you notice these cues, you stop chasing approval and start responding to energy. That shift alone makes you more engaging, more centered, more alive. For men worn down by years of work, routine, and responsibility, this awareness can quietly restore something you thought was gone. A sense of aliveness, a sense of connection. Because attraction is not a performance, it is an exchange. An exchange requires attention. When her body keeps adjusting, when her legs seem unable to settle, her emotions are active, processing, responding, testing comfort and interest at the same time. Don't rush, don't interrupt, don't flood the moment with words. Let space work for you. Silence, paired with awareness, amplifies attraction. This is how to fall in love without forcing it. Not through grand gestures, but through attunement. Through understanding that emotion shows up in the body long before it reaches the mouth. Female psychology expresses interest indirectly first. Men who respect that rhythm appear naturally confident. Not loud, not performative, just steady. That steadiness makes her feel safe enough to stay engaged, to keep responding, to let her body speak while her words remain careful. Attraction often tests before it trusts, and leg movement is one of those tests. It quietly asks, are you paying attention or are you checked out? When you are paying attention, your pace slows, your voice steadies, your posture relaxes. That feedback loop deepens the moment. Psychology tricks only work when they are rooted in real observation, not memorized lines. That's why men who understand this don't need to impress. They simply respond. And responding correctly is rare. Rarity creates value. Value fuels attraction. Over time, this awareness reshapes how you move through social situations. You stop guessing. You start reading. And reading correctly creates calm confidence. This is how to fall in love naturally, by noticing small signals, by trusting what you see, by letting moments unfold instead of forcing them forward. Don't dismiss subtle movement. Don't act too quickly. But do notice. Do stay grounded. Do let awareness guide your next step. Because psychology tricks, when used with respect, elevate connection instead of cheapening it. Understanding female psychology this way doesn't make you calculating. It makes you attentive, and attentiveness is rare, powerful, and deeply attractive. Love doesn't begin with words. It begins with feeling, and feeling always moves the body first. If this opened your eyes to the silent signals of attraction, like the video, Subscribe for more psychology you can actually use, and share it with a man who needs his confidence back. Comment to remember. Attraction speaks through movement before words. 5. Playing with her hair. Playing with her hair is one of those signals that looks simple on the surface, yet carries surprising depth once you understand it. She might twirl a single strand around her finger. She might sweep her hair behind her ear, then do it again a few minutes later. She might twist the ends, brush it over her shoulder, or subtly adjust her hairstyle even though nothing actually needs fixing. Don't assume it's vanity. Don't assume it's nervous habit. That is your first mistake. Because when this happens in your presence, especially without a clear reason, it often means something inside her has been activated. This is one of the most common signs of attraction, and also one of the most genuine. When feelings begin to rise, the body looks for a soft outlet. Hair becomes that outlet. It's close to the face. It frames identity. It's intimate without being obvious. That is why female attraction so often flows through this gesture. It's her body speaking before her mind decides what words are safe. It's a quiet way of saying, "I notice you," without putting herself on the line. Be observant here. Don't rush to react. Don't interrupt the moment. When a woman plays with her hair while talking to you, she's often redirecting emotional energy. She feels engaged. She feels alert. She feels present. A woman who feels nothing doesn't do this. She stays still. She keeps her movements practical. But when attraction enters the room, stillness disappears. Motion replaces it. Subtle motion, controlled motion, motion that reveals interest without announcing it. This is where many men miss the signal. They overthink it. They dismiss it as coincidence. They tell themselves it means nothing. That hesitation costs them confidence. But once you understand this pattern, everything shifts. You realize it was never random. It was never meaningless. And that realization alone can restore something powerful inside you, especially if life, work, or routine has dulled your sense of connection. Many men later in life say recognizing this single behavior changed how they saw themselves. They didn't feel invisible anymore. They didn't feel outdated. They realized attraction still responds to presence, not age. That realization is grounding. It pulls you back into your body. It reminds you that attraction is not a young man's game. It's an awareness game. Be clear about this. Playing with her hair is not a guarantee. It's not a promise. You must not treat it like a finish line. That would ruin the moment. Instead, treat it like a signal light. It tells you the interaction is alive. It tells you your energy is being received. And when you respond correctly, without forcing anything, you step naturally into the frame of a high-value man. A high-value man does not pounce on signals. He notices them. He allows them. He stays steady. That steadiness is what allows attraction to grow. When you remain calm and present, her comfort increases. Her movements become easier. Her gestures become more fluid. That is how attraction deepens without pressure. This is also where masculine energy quietly shows itself, not through volume, not through control, but through grounded presence. Masculine energy is about containment. It's about being centered enough that emotional energy can circulate without chaos. When she plays with her hair and you stay relaxed, you create that container. You don't need clever lines. You don't need to impress. You simply remain engaged. That is enough. Don't rush to label her. Don't rush to escalate. Be patient. Let the moment breathe. Attraction grows best when it feels safe to exist. When you give it room, it reveals more. Her posture shifts. Her voice softens. Her attention stays with you. These are connected signals. Hairplay is often just the first visible ripple. This understanding also helps you attract women without chasing them. When you stop hunting for validation and start reading the room, your behavior changes naturally. Your tone slows down. Your eye contact steadies. Your movements become economical. That shift is felt immediately. Women respond to it because it feels grounded and real. Many men think attraction is about doing more, talking more, showing more, trying harder. That is backwards. Attraction responds to clarity and presence. It responds when you know when not to act, when you don't rush to fill silence, when you allow moments to land. That restraint signals confidence, and confidence expressed calmly is deeply compelling. Be aware of this pattern. Hair play often increases when emotional interest rises. It decreases when interest fades. That contrast matters. Use it as information, not instruction. You must remain respectful of boundaries. Attraction is an invitation, not a command. The goal is connection, not conquest. When you understand this, your interactions feel lighter. You stop guessing. You stop doubting yourself. You stop replaying conversations in your head. Instead, you stay present. That presence is what helps you attract women naturally, not because you force chemistry, but because you allow it. This is also how a man grows into lasting confidence. Confidence that doesn't depend on outcomes. Confidence that doesn't collapse when interest isn't returned. A high-value man remains steady either way. He notices signals, responds with awareness, and moves forward without resentment or pressure. Masculine energy thrives in this space. It's calm, it's contained, it's responsive, not reactive. When you embody that, attraction becomes a byproduct, not a goal, and women feel that difference immediately. So don't dismiss the small gestures. Don't underestimate hair play. Don't rush to conclusions. Be present, be observant, be grounded. Let attraction unfold at its own pace. Because when you understand these signals, you don't just attract women more easily. You move through life with more clarity, more confidence, and more ease. 6. Nervous energy with her phone. Here's the truth you need to hear, spoken plainly and without apology. When a woman keeps picking up her phone, flipping it over, unlocking it, locking it, setting it down, then repeating the same motion while you're with her, that restless behavior is not distraction. It is emotion trying to stay under control. In modern life, this is one of the clearest psychological signals a man can learn to recognize. Attention today lives inside that device, and when she touches it without actually using it, her nervous system is activated. Activated by you, by the moment, by the tension she feels, and doesn't yet know how to release. Most men get this wrong. They assume boredom. They assume disinterest. They pull back too soon. They soften their presence. They abandon the moment, and the connection dies quietly. But the truth is often the opposite. Nervous energy appears when attraction meets uncertainty, when curiosity meets restraint, when desire meets self-control. As Carl Jung said, everything that irritates us about others can lead us to an understanding of ourselves. Her restless hands are not about the phone. They are about the feeling you've created. The experienced man understands this. He doesn't chase signals. He reads them. He doesn't rush to fill silence. He lets silence work for him. He doesn't perform. He holds his ground. This is where Old Stoic wisdom becomes essential. Power is not loud. Power is composed. Power is staying centered while emotion moves around you, not inside you. This is why Stoicism win is not a phrase. It is a way of operating. When you remain calm while she fidgets, your stillness becomes the anchor her mind responds to. In a world flooded with noise, notifications, and endless stimulation, the man who is comfortable in stillness becomes rare, magnetic, memorable. Attraction deepens when a woman feels safe enough to feel. Nervous energy is emotion without permission yet. Your job is not to force clarity, not to demand reassurance, not to ask where you stand. Your job is to stay present long enough for that energy to settle. That only happens if you don't blink first. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Her phone is an outside event. Her behavior is an outside event. Your response is your responsibility. The iron mind you're building learns to observe without reacting, to notice without assuming, to stay grounded while signals reveal themselves naturally. Modern dating confuses men because defensive habits are everywhere. The phone has become a shield, a mask, a pressure valve. When she touches it without purpose, she is managing excitement. If you retreat emotionally, you confirm her uncertainty. If you stay steady, you resolve it. This doesn't require pressure. It requires calm posture, measured speech, patience. Attraction is not built by force. It is revealed through comfort. Comfort comes from consistency. Consistency comes from discipline. Discipline is the backbone of Old Stoic wisdom. This is where Stoicism win becomes practical. You stop asking, Does she like me? And start asking, am I solid right now? When you are, her energy slows, her attention stays, and even if it doesn't, you don't chase certainty. Your confidence does not depend on immediate validation. Theodore Roosevelt said, confidence thrives on honesty and honor. Your role is not to impress, it is to be grounded. In modern life, restraint is an advantage. Calm beats chaos, presence beats performance, patience beats pressure. Repeat that, live that. Let Old Stoic wisdom guide you. Let Stoicism win, shape your reactions. Let the iron mind carry you through complexity. When you master this, you don't just understand attraction, you master yourself. And when you master yourself, life begins to follow. If this resonates, drop a comment right now. I stay calm while attraction reveals itself. Like the video, subscribe for more sharp psychological insight, and remember this: when she's restless, it's not confusion. It's emotion she's trying to control. Stay grounded. Let her come to you. 7. Fidgeting hands and emotional intensity. When you really want to understand attraction, don't obsess over what she says. Watch what her hands quietly confess, because fidgeting hands are not random noise. They are emotional signals leaking through the body, and when a woman begins to tap her nails, twist a ring, play with a bracelet, rub her fingertips together, press her palms softly, or let her fingers brush against each other, something meaningful is happening beneath the surface. That movement is not nervousness in the shallow sense. It is emotional intensity looking for release, a subtle overflow of feeling that hasn't yet found words. Be clear about this. Her body is processing tension, not negative tension, but the kind charged with curiosity, anticipation, and attraction, the kind studied deeply in female psychology, where the hands act as pressure valves for emotion. You must understand this is one of the hardest signals to fake because it bypasses conscious control. She isn't performing, she's responding, and experienced men notice this because it shows up when interest becomes personal rather than polite. Don't rush to label it or react too quickly. That is where many men slip. Instead, stay grounded. Breathe slowly. Let your shoulders remain open. Keep your posture relaxed, not stiff. Speak with calm assurance, not urgency. A slightly deeper, steadier voice works because it signals emotional safety. And emotional safety is the doorway through which attraction grows. Be present, not impressed with yourself. Don't lean in too fast or fill the space with unnecessary words. Silence, when paired with ease, creates gravity. This is one of those psychology tricks most men overlook because they think attraction is built by doing more, when in reality it often deepens when you do less but do it better. Watch how her hands respond to your stillness. If the movements soften instead of stopping, if the fingers slow and linger, if the brushing becomes gentler rather than sharper, that is her body syncing with yours, a quiet alignment that speaks louder than compliments. Understand this dynamic because it connects directly to how to fall in love without forcing it. Love doesn't bloom under pressure, it unfolds under attunement. Be attentive without staring. That is important. Staring turns awareness into tension. Awareness should feel light, almost invisible. When you stay centered, her nervous system relaxes, and paradoxically, that relaxation allows desire to rise. This is why calm confidence outperforms flashy gestures every time. Her hands fidget because emotion wants direction, and when you provide emotional steadiness, you become that direction without trying to dominate the moment. Don't interpret her fidgeting as a cue to escalate physically right away. That is not wisdom, it is impatience. Instead, match her pace emotionally. Let your words slow down. Let your breath lead. When she senses you are comfortable with intensity rather than rushed by it, trust grows, and trust amplifies attraction. This is a core principle in female psychology that mature men understand intuitively. Attraction is not pulled, it is allowed. Use this knowledge as one of your psychology tricks, not to manipulate, but to align. Be the man who can sit comfortably in charged silence. Be the man who doesn't need to prove anything. That is magnetic. Her hands will tell you when she feels safe enough to want more, and they will also tell you when she feels seen without being cornered. Notice how often this shows up in real conversations, not just romantic ones. Emotional intensity leaks through the body long before it reaches the mouth. If you learn to read it calmly, you stop guessing and start understanding. That understanding is the foundation of how to fall in love in a way that lasts, not rushed, not forced, not built on illusion, but grounded in awareness and mutual presence. Don't chase the signal. Receive it. Be steady. Let attraction rise toward you rather than pulling it forward. This is not about control. It is about composure. And when you master this, when you truly grasp how subtle movements reflect deep emotion, you stop reacting and start leading quietly, which is why these psychology tricks, rooted in real female psychology, matter far more than lines or tactics, because they teach you not just how to attract, but how to remain centered while attraction unfolds. And that calm center is ultimately what teaches both of you how to fall in love naturally. 8. Physical space and mirroring. Physical space speaks quietly, but it never lies, and if you train yourself to notice it, you'll understand attraction long before it's ever said out loud. When a woman subtly angles her body toward you while you're talking, when her shoulders turn in your direction or her hips align with your stance, that is intentional. Don't dismiss it as coincidence. Be precise in your thinking. People orient their bodies toward what they care about. That is instinct. She is directing her whole presence toward you, not just listening politely, and that distinction matters more than most men realize. You must understand that attraction often begins in posture, not words. When her body chooses you, her mind is already leaning in. Everyone carries a natural personal boundary, an invisible line that defines comfort and safety. When she reduces that distance without a practical reason, she is making a quiet invitation. Be aware of how this shows up. She leans in while you speak. She pulls her chair a little closer. She stays beside you even when others arrive and the social space shifts. These are not random adjustments. That is interest expressing itself through proximity. Don't rush to fill the space or react impulsively. Be calm. This is where a high-value man stands out. He doesn't panic when space closes. He remains relaxed. He lets the moment breathe. That grounded response is what helps you attract women naturally because it signals emotional steadiness rather than need. This calm is not passive. It is controlled masculine energy, expressed through ease instead of force. Another deep indicator is mirroring, and it's one of the most reliable signs of connection when you know how to read it. When a woman feels emotionally aligned, her body begins to unconsciously match yours. You touch your face, and moments later, she touches hers. You adjust your posture, and she follows. You lean back, and shortly after, she does the same. Don't call this copying. That is inaccurate. This is instinctive alignment. Her nervous system is syncing with yours, like two clocks slowly ticking into the same rhythm. Be observant if you want to notice it. Make a small, natural movement, and then wait. Don't stare. Don't test aggressively. Just watch for a delayed response. That delay matters. It shows the movement wasn't intentional, which is exactly why it's meaningful. One signal alone might mean nothing. Be honest about that. But several signals together change the story completely. Reduced physical space paired with consistent mirroring means attraction is building beneath awareness. Mirroring is nearly impossible to fake because it comes from the subconscious. It shows comfort. It shows trust. It shows emotional openness forming in real time. You must respect that process. Don't interrupt it by escalating too fast or trying to take control of the moment. Be patient. A high-value man understands that attraction grows when it feels safe, not rushed. He knows that his role is to stay centered, not to chase signals. This is where masculine energy works best. Not loud, not performative, calm, steady. When you hold yourself with composure, her body relaxes further, and that relaxation deepens connection. This is how you attract women who feel genuinely drawn, not pressured. Don't overthink the signs. Don't ignore them either. read them with clarity, and respond with restraint. When you do, attraction stops feeling like a puzzle and starts feeling like alignment. That is the difference between guessing and knowing quietly and confidently is what separates men who hope from men who naturally attract women again and again. If you understand these signals, you're no longer guessing. You're reading attraction in real time. Most people miss this completely. You don't have to. Comment prompt. Ask them to post this exact sentence. I recognize attraction when it shows itself. 9. Voice, laughter, and eye contact. When you understand attraction, you stop guessing and start reading the room with precision. It begins with voice, laughter, and eye contact, because these signals never lie. When a woman is genuinely drawn to you, her voice softens without effort. She may slow her speech slightly, lower her volume, or stretch certain words, as if the conversation suddenly matters more. That shift is not an act. It is comfort. It is interest. It is chemistry doing its quiet work. You will often notice her laughter becoming easier and warmer, not forced, but flowing. Her responses grow more thoughtful, more present, because attraction is not loud, it is focused. Then there is eye contact, the most honest signal of all. Here, timing beats intensity every time. When her gaze lingers just 1 second longer than normal, she is choosing you in that moment. When you notice the triangular glance, her eyes moving from your eyes to your lips and back again, that brief drop carries desire without words. You may also see her pupils widen slightly. This is not something she controls. It is a biological response tied to dopamine and excitement. As William James once said, the deepest principle in human nature is the craving to be appreciated, and appreciation always reveals itself through attention, not through touch, not through talk, through presence. In modern life, where distractions are constant and attention is rare, mastering these cues gives you a quiet advantage. The man who notices tone, pacing, and eye contact does not chase signals. He reads them. This is where Old Stoic wisdom sharpens your awareness. Observe before you act. Stay centered. Lead with clarity. Attraction responds to certainty, not noise. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts, and your mindset shapes every interaction. Build an iron mind that remains calm, relaxed, and unreactive. Conversations deepen naturally. Your posture steadies, your voice slows, your eyes settle. This is Stoicism win in real life. Control over impulse, control over reaction." Dale Carnegie captured it perfectly when he said, "Be genuinely interested in other people." That principle still governs modern psychology. Here is the instruction that matters most. Do not rush. Let signals confirm themselves. Let voice match eyes. Let laughter match timing. Let interest stack naturally. Patience multiplies attraction. When you move from an iron mind, grounded in Old Stoic wisdom, you project confidence that feels earned, calm, and repeatable. This is Stoicism win in action. Quiet strength, clear perception, everyday victories that build mastery, momentum, and respect in life and relationships. Hey, my friend, thanks for staying with me till the end. Here's the real takeaway, and it's important. Attraction isn't magic, and it's not something you have to chase or force. When you understand how attraction shows up in the body, everything gets simpler. You stop overthinking every word and start trusting what you see and feel. Her body language is honest. It doesn't play games. It reacts before her mind has time to filter anything. So my sincere advice to you is this: slow down and pay attention. Don't rush, don't assume, and don't ignore the small signals. When you stay calm, grounded, and aware, your confidence naturally grows. That calm presence is what makes attraction feel safe, real, and effortless. Remember, when you learn to read the signs clearly, you move with certainty instead of doubt, and that changes everything.